Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to share some books that tell Indigenous stories. So for this one, I have 2 books that I have read and then 3 books that I have not, but I would like to. And we're just going to start with the one that I have on my shelves, which is definitely obviously one I want to read, and that is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is a fantasy, I would say. Some people will say sci-fi. I would say fantasy. And it is all about, I believe it's like lore of the sun, from what I'm understanding. I know that I have heard incredible things about it. Very, very good things. I heard the second one's a little bit underwhelming, but people are excited for the third one that just came out. So I'm definitely very interested in reading this. I actually had it on my summer TBR and wasn't able to get to it because summer was just a big wash for me. But it went right back on my shelves because I definitely want to read this. Next one is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. This one I did read. I enjoyed this one. This is a young adult book. And the only issue I had with this was the amount of sexual content that was in it. I felt it was a little bit too much for young adult. I felt it should have been maybe more new adult. And plus the protagonist was like an older teen. So I thought this might have been better categorized as a new adult just based on the content that was in it. That was like personally just for me. And you guys know that I'm not a prude. I read all sorts of things. All sorts of stuff. But if I'm trying to read it from a teen perspective, it was a little bit too much for me. Like I wouldn't hand this to my daughter right now. And she's 16. It was just a little bit too much. But other than that, the story was very good. And it does tackle, big things like drug addiction and, stuff like that. If you do like YA books that tackle kind of harder topics, this is a good one. Okay, the next one is The Absolutely True Story of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This one, I enjoyed the story of it overall and really just felt for the main character, Junior, and what he was going through, especially at home. This one is one that deals with alcoholism. So that is a big theme in this book. It's something that he's dealing with in his home life. But by the end of the book, I really remember feeling like I was just ready for it to be over, and it's not a long book. So I felt it kind of dragged out a little bit. If it had been a little bit shorter and a little bit more tied up, I think, it could have gotten a higher rating for me. But by the end, I was kind of bored. But I did read it. Okay. Next one is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I have not read this book. I have had it in my possession multiple times from the library, and I didn't crack it open. Ended up having to take it back. My fault. But Stephen Graham Jones is an author that I just haven't read yet, but I really want to. His books really intrigue me. He is a horror author, and he bases his stories deeply rooted with Indigenous either folktales or lore or traditions and, all that kind of stuff that's all woven in there. And from what I'm understanding, it's beautifully done. And I just haven't read anything by him yet. But this is definitely the one book of his that always catches my eye. And I really want to read it. Okay. And this last one is one that I just recently added to my wish list after hearing about it at our BookTube Besties Reading Retreat. And I was like, that sounds interesting. This is Shudder by Ramona Emerson. And I believe this is a police procedural book. And I'm definitely intrigued by this one. So, yeah. But the way that it was kind of presented at the retreat just kind of made me perk up. I didn't look too much more into it, so that's why I can't give you like a really good synopsis, but it definitely caught my eye. Okay, guys, those are some Indigenous stories and authors that we wanted to highlight for you today. Some I've read, some I haven't, but I really want to. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations for Indigenous stories or authors down below. Please let me know. That would be wonderful. And make sure you go check out Lindsay today and see which books she's going to be sharing. And I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.